What's up, everybody? Ryan Michael Ballo here, creator of Cortex, writer of many blogs, creator of many videos, thinker of many thoughts. Here's one of the thoughts that I want to convey to you guys. Nootropics are critical for two things that I want to point out, and not to justify one of them, but we all have social lives. Number one, if you have a social life, a normal life, and you drink any degree of alcohol, and this doesn't work for 6+ drinks, and you should really try to avoid drinking 6+ drinks. But if you drink 2 to 4 drinks or 5 drinks, and you wake up the next day and you've got productivity work to do, and you recognize your brain is not as quick as it normally is, or that you want it to be, as a direct result of the sort of the neurological effects from alcohol, like neurotoxicity and things of this type. Nootropics are extremely beneficial for that. In fact, there is a study, let me see if I can find it here on my laptop. I know there's a study about acetyl L-carnitine, affectionately known as Alcar, and alcohol and neurotoxicity, which basically says that Alcar prevents or protects against alcohol-induced neurotoxicity. Why is Google taking forever? Yeah, acetyl L-carnitine protects neuronal function from alcohol-induced oxidative damage in the brain. So critically important. I mean, I have suggested in the past taking acetyl L-carnitine before you go out and drink alcohol, and I think it's still a great idea. So yeah, I mean, if you want to go read that abstract, it's very, very interesting. The whole study is very, very interesting. Again, called acetyl L-carnitine protects neuronal function from alcohol-induced oxidative damage in the brain. That's one critically important thing. We all know we've had a couple of drinks, we go to the next day and do work, it's harder. The brain, it's harder for you to access information. It's hard to memorize information. It's hard to engage in productivity tasks. But the second point I want to make, aside from alcohol, and even combined with alcohol, but aside from alcohol, firstly, is writing. That I opened with, I'm the writer of many blogs, creator of many videos for a reason. When I write blogs, I started a media publication that's political news and commentary recently, political media company. And we cover the general election, we covered the Trump phenomenon, we covered the things of this nature, and now post-election covering all those things. Today I wrote an article about a Democratic senator who is scrutinizing Donald Trump's Secretary of Treasury cabinet pick, and I had to go research this guy's past and understand that he bought a bank called IndyMac in 2009, converted it to a bank called One Bank in that same year, and then engaged in a bunch of sort of dodgy foreclosures of 36,000 homes. And I had to get into this details. I'm sitting here being able to reference all that and tell you it now because I went and did all the research about it, because I was writing, because I took nootropics this morning. I took the Cortex stack. Other days I alternate between that, a stack of alpha GPC in small doses, a little bit of Alcar, caffeine and theanine, and then alternate between that and another stack, or sort of switching stacks. I think that's important. And then cycling off of everything. But if I didn't do that, the article that I wrote this morning, which took me 25 minutes, would have taken me 45 minutes, maybe even 50. I shaved 20 to 25 minutes completely off of my article writing because my brain's working better, because I took, in this case, the Cortex stack, in other cases, very many other stacks, nootropics that affect the brain. So 2 things. If you've had some drinks, you're a normal person, you have a social life, the next day your brain's not working well, take nootropics. And they will considerably help your brain to work better. And it isn't sort of a mild thing. Let me take this vitamin or this foreign little thing that you find from fish and maybe I'll be better. It's a night and day thing. You're directly affecting neurotransmitter functionality, which is inhibited or impaired as a result of consuming alcohol. And I know we see in this study here that alcohol induces oxidative damage in the brain, and that nootropics, acetyl L-carnitine in this case, which, by the way, we're going to put in the 2nd generation of the Cortex stack, protects against. And then if you're writing, if you've got productive stuff to do, forget alcohol. Nootropics are pretty critical for writing. I mean, that's one thing. We talk about applications. We did a video, you should watch it, called, I think it's something to the effect of the applications of nootropics are like what smart drugs to use in what situations. That's what it was called. Where we talk about a bunch of different situations where nootropics are great, the application of nootropics, and writing. I don't know if we really talked about writing in that one, but writing is, for me, probably one of the biggest situations where I get the most benefit from nootropics. And again, it's either Cortex, a combination of 75 milligrams alpha GPC, 300 milligrams Alcar, a cup or 2 of coffee, and 100 to 150 milligrams of theanine. Cycling between that and some other stacks, Shankapushpi and artichoke extract in 500 milligram quantities each. Each is also a good stack for me for writing. And so that's critically important. If you have not tried the Cortex nootropic stack, that's the stack I was talking about. This is actually our stack. It's our professional nootropic stack that competes with Alpha Brain and Siltep and all the rest of that. Sells in the US, Canada, Australia, the UK. Everybody uses it, from Wall Street people to business people to military folks. We just mailed bottles to military police unit. I don't know where APO is. I don't know where they are, but they have particular addresses to a military police officer, and they love it. So grab a bottle at livecortex.com. This is pretty awesome for motivation, for focus capacity, for brain energy in general, and for getting yourself to want to sit down and do lots of work, and of course for writing. Otherwise, if you drink some alcohol and you have a normal life and you have a social life and you have some beers, a couple, not 6, not 10, not 12, but 3 or 5, and your brain doesn't work the next day, nootropics considerably help that. If you are a writer and you need to go out and do a bunch of fact finding and put it all together and then write it and know what you're talking about and be able to reference everything that you just learned, if somebody asks you in a conversation 2 days later or 10 years later or 3 hours later, nootropics are extremely beneficial for that. I think it's important that we hit home the concept of the practical application of nootropics. Thanks for watching.